Welcome back. Round number 4 for our Gym Challenge League Challenge here at Psycho Turtle in Pico Rivera, California. I am Dennis Geisler. With me, Benjamin Harlan for round 4. I already said it. I was so close to getting through a full intro that time and not messing anything up. We've got Oscar and Nicholas here. Oscar Gill running the Chen Pao, Bastiodon, Grimmsnarl, Ogerpon Hearthflame, Iron Hands with the Calyrex, Shadow Rider, Terra Fairy, Life Orb, Nasty Plot Protect, Astral Barrage, Psychic, and then on Nicholas's side, you have the Raging Bolt, Chen Pao, Ogerpon Hearthflame, Entei, Jumpluff, and the Groudon, Terrafire, Clear Amulet with Precipice Blades, Protect, Heat Crash, High Horsepower. Talking to Nicholas a little bit about this team before, and I mean, there are the obvious pitfalls that a team like this runs into. You have the Choice Band Terranormal Entei with that extreme speed alongside the Chen Pao. So obviously, if you run up against a team that has like a Fur Giraffe, then you're kind of annoyed. And with the Groudon as well, and the Jumpluff and the Entei, and the Ogerpon for that matter, and the Raging Bolt, everything on this team likes the Sun except Chen Pao, which is fairly neutral on it. If something wants to overwrite the Sun, then you are kind of in an awkward spot. But if you don't have any of those issues, which frankly is getting less common with time, Pelipper isn't getting seen as much at this point, you're in a pretty good spot. And we're going to see that Groudon Jumpluff lead right here up against the Ogerpon Grimmsnarl. The Jumpluff does have the Terra Dark, so it can avoid the Thunder Wave.
Yeah, I don't think Thunder Wave doesn't matter as much here, just because it's going to be faster. I mean, I guess you can roll the para chance.
Yeah, roll the dice on the para chance,
and
but
it looks like it's going to.
Which I think is not a bad idea, and if you can force out the Terra immediately, that's not a bad thing, especially because it's like, what do you want Jumpluff to do or not do in this matchup? We are going to see, no, it's the Groudon that goes for the Terra. Terra Fire immediately.
Jumpluff is, you want to kind of force the Terra out of it anyway, and also, there is a chance it's just not max speed, and this Fire Pond might actually outspeed the Jumpluff. Mm-hmm. If it's not max speed, which I have seen that some Jumpluff like to run a little bit of bulk because they're always Clover Cloak.
Yeah.
And it is max speed though, so it will outspeed.
And now we'll see what Groudon wants to do. It wants to click Precipice Blades, and do a bunch of damage. Pretty solid, little bit over half of both of those. Ivy Cudgel in the Sun, that's going to knock out the Jumpluff, but got its job done. It got the Tailwind down.
I think you want to reflect here, just because there's a chance of Thunder Wave being blanked into Groudon because of effect. And so getting Reflect up here could just save you in the end game, or you could try and Thunder Wave the Groudon, risking to protect here. But I think,
yeah, there are protect options on both of these two Pokemon, and I mean, I agree. If you get the Reflect up here, then you don't really have to worry. One, I mean, Thunder Wave missing, or just not doing a whole lot in this setting, but also two, you might be able to Thunder Wave next turn if you're able to take a hit. Ogerpon will go for that Spiky Shield. Grimmsnarl gets the Reflect up. There was a Throat Chop into the Ogerpon, so that'll break the Focus Sash. Real nice play there for Oscar.
Let's see, 85% chance to hit.
Does get that hit into Grimmsnarl, but that won't pick up the... No, it will pick up the knockout. Oh, because of the Chen Pao, yeah.
So Reflect,
so that's even, yeah. So that's the same... Chen Pao did the same amount of drop to its defense as the Rise was from the Reflect. There's the Mono Ferrea, the Italian Iron Hands.
I think... See, do you think he fakes out the Groudon here?
I think you have to fake out the Groudon here, otherwise you just lose.
Well, the problem is the Protect, right? So
yeah.
You could try and,
well, and stopping Groudon from doing something this turn is good regardless of how you accomplish it. We're going to get the Raging Bolt switch in.
Forcing the Protect. I'm guessing... Yeah, so that's why you click the fake out almost every time, just because you can punish aggressive plays like that, just get 3 damage. That is, that's Sun Boost. Wow, that is a resisted move.
Raging Bolt eats hits. Super tanky.
But now, I mean, I mean,
and the problem here is that you did get your fake out turn. That's great. What do you do now against Precipice Blades? Hope one misses.
yeah, and the problem is
protect your Ogerpon, I guess. I don't know.
The problem is that Ogerpon goes down. You no longer have Follow Me for Sucker Punch on the Chen-Pao in the back.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're kind of stuck here. Like Terra, but that means you don't have Terra on the Counter Rider, which is Fairy, which is perfect right now for Chen-Pao in the back. So I think at this point you do
Precipice Blades hits on both. And that should... Ooh, it doesn't pick up the Ogerpon. Barely doesn't get there.
And a
Draco Meteor misses onto the Iron Hands.
Horn Leech. Get a little bit of health back. Low kick with no terrain, no fork drive. This won't KO.
Yeah, not enough. Good damage, though. And Tailwind's down now, so Ogerpon will move first.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Ogerpon's really going to accomplish here.
I mean, what do you think? Because I have an idea here. I think we'll do it. My idea here is just Spiky Shield and let my Iron F.
I agree with that.
Because Spiky Shield, you guarantee Follow Me, and you outspeed both and just KO them both with Astral Barrage next turn. It should die. Yeah, it's close, but it is still Life Orb Astral
I think it's still your best bet, because otherwise both of these Pokemon drop for not much. There's the Thunderclap into the Ogerpon, going to pick up that knockout immediately, and yeah, that's another thing that Spiky Shield would have prevented. The Groudon with the Precipice Blades is just going... Oh no, it's going to land that. Thought I missed for a second, but no, it landed it onto the Iron Hands. It's done. And now...
Still winnable.
It's still approximately as winnable as it was a moment ago.
Yeah, it's safer
you
because...
you don't have the Follow Me anymore for stopping the Thunderclap and a lot of
you still
that
have Terra.
stuff. But
so if Terra Fairy, granted this is Assault Vest Raging Bolt though, so I don't think it KOs.
I think at this point, Terra doesn't do anything for you right this second. I think you just click Astral Barrage and hope.
Yeah, you might as well Terra. It doesn't affect any of the type matchups here, which you said, but...
Yeah, I mean, I guess it stops the Draco, but it's not a big deal regardless. Fairly marginal at this point, not big if you do it or don't.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's literally just a Draco, so... I think you just hope that this Assault Vest is not enough to save it from the below half on a... Life Orb Astral Barrage. If it picks up the double KO here, you have plenty of special attack to kill the Chen-Pao that broke its own stack.
Yeah, you will certainly... I think you certainly win this if you're able to pick up a double KO here. It's just if you're able to do that. No Thunderclap, so not going to get a little bit of that early damage.
And it lives on what has to be less than 5.
Barely takes it. Barely takes it. Groudon drops. And we'll see what this Raging Bolt is able to do now, because I think it's... I forget what its special attack is at this point, because of all of the things that have happened, but the Electro Web I like. I really like that play.
Super smart play. Don't even risk the Chen-Pao being outsped. Now you are...
And Chen-Pao's Ice Spinner, so...
Ice Spinner can't even
know that you're not going to miss, like Icicle Crash.
Very good play there.
I think that should be it for this one. I can't imagine the Ice Spinner is going to miss. You also get the Thunderclap for layering a little extra damage, and that's basically going to do it by itself. But the Ice Spinner will pick it up. And Nicholas Stavrakis with the victory in game number 1.
Yeah, really, really well played at the end there. Electro, finding the guaranteed win with the Electro Web. Obviously, you could miss, but 5% chance. So finding that guaranteed win with Electro Web, and then jabbing Ice Spinner, which is not super common, but on a Sun team it makes a lot of sense, just because you want to remove opposing terrain. And finding the completely guaranteed win there. There's absolutely no way to lose that game outside.
Not only for a Sun team, but also with the Choice Band Entei as well, if you want to remove the Psychic terrain. It'd be really nice.
Yeah.
But in any case, that's the Game 1 victory. I mean, game number 1, we saw the value of just Groudon Jump Fluff as a lead. You just get to click Tailwind, and there's not a whole lot that can be done about it.
Yeah, there's not too much that can be done there. No terrain on Iron Hands. Obviously it's not a Groudon team, but it's not going to be hitting this Groudon nearly as hard. And the problem is that it just outspeeds Hands. So I don't think Hands can really do particularly much here. It has to Terra to get any resistances. It helps against the Raging Bolt, but that's, you know, without Terra. But I get why they're bringing it, because Bastiodon is just completely dead weight here.
Yeah.
Because Groudon doesn't really mind if it has like high horsepower. And then Chien-Pao, a lot of fire types, you know, it can be kind of difficult to, you know, get some of your move files. So I get why, you know, no Chien-Pao. We'll see. And Hands obviously has fake out pressure, so if you can, you know, fake out a Raging Bolt,
yeah, it's never bad to get the fake out. We're gonna get the priority lead here with the Entei and the Chien-Pao. It's gonna be up against Grimmsnarl Calyrex. Keep in mind that regardless of speed tiers, that extreme speed does move before Grimmsnarl's priority moves with the Prankster. So you could just go, but Grimmsnarl is Terra Ghost and Calyrex is a Ghost type, so that could be kind of awkward to deal with. You might just not want to, not want to try it.
I think Nicholas has what I would call a pin here, where he can basically just E-Speed and Sucker Punch into the Calyrex, and he hits it no matter what. So he can go
unless
for
it protects.
If it goes for Protect, you let Grimmsnarl get a move off, but you're threatening the most threatening Pokemon on the field right now. So yes, you let Grimmsnarl do whatever it wants, because your damage is just too much for most any double. We'll see. I mean, if it's Terra Normal E-Speed with Sucker Punch, I think that may pick up the KO even through Reflect. This is just a very powerful attack from a very powerful Pokemon.
Well, and E-Speed will go before Protect, or before Reflect.
Oh, yeah, and you mentioned that earlier, so that's a really good point. Reflect will not be helping it from the...
I think Nicholas is pulling the trigger on that with the Terra Normal.
I mean, well, there is a small chance that the Shadow Rider takes the Sucker Punch quite well.
See what this is aimed at. It is the
Grimmsnarl, so he just didn't want to go
pick up the knockout. I don't hate that.
And Sucker Punch, just in case we didn't Terra.
Yeah, I don't hate the idea, and I mean, to be fair, Thunder Wave doesn't really matter speed-wise. It only matters for whether you get Parrot or not, whether you're full Parrot or not, because the priority is priority. And should take the Psychic. Not great, but does take the Psychic. So, I mean, the priority is still on the table here. I mean, frankly... E-Speed into Calyrex? Let's just pick up the knockout?
Yeah, without Reflect, it would.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't get Reflect up before E-Speed, so...
You still have Protect, though, because you didn't Protect last time, so I think...
So you can protect it, but at the same time...
Well, E-Speed into the Grimmsnarl again just KOs it before it gets anything...
That's also true, yeah. And that is what Nicholas goes for. Two very nice plays. Get the Grimmsnarl out of the way.
And the thing is, with Terra Normal, that was the best play because you can just Ice Spinner. And I don't know... That threatens the KO because you prevent Reflect from going up. So a Reflectless Calyrex, I just don't think can eat an Ice Spinner. And even if it does, Life Orb just KO itself.
Yeah.
And you can't click your Astral Barrage because you're just going to blanket to the Entei. And so then you're forced to click, Pollen Puff into the Chien-Pao. And so, this is the very good Terra. You get a lot of pressure early for Nicholas, and that Terra Normal just makes it a lot harder for Calyrex to damage him.
Yeah, and this turn, I mean, Calyrex has to switch out or it would drop to the extreme speed there. And even then, Ogerpon's probably going to take a pretty decent chunk if that's what Nicholas wanted to go for. Chien-Pao will protect. I like that move. You weren't going to get a whole lot done anyways, and you want to dodge the fake out, which that was where the fake out was headed. I mean, it kind of had to head that way. We'll see the extreme speed. See how much this does to Ogerpon. Like a lot of damage, like a ton of damage to Ogerpon.
And now, I think Oscar had to go for the KO and Entei there. Like, I know you want to fake out Chien-Pao, but you're already switching out your Battle Rider, so at that point, might as well just take the KO and Entei, can't protect. But obviously that lets, Groudon in, right? And so you're kind of in a tough spot. You just don't have a lot of reliable speed control, and you're kind of trying to get past this, let alone, the other 2 punches back.
Yeah, just getting the Entei out of the way and getting the Chien-Pao at least from Sash. Like, this is a really tough spot. And I mean, at this point, Entei still has enough damage, or enough HP to where you don't have to worry too much about Spiky Shield. If it drops, it drops. It's not the biggest problem in the world. But bringing in Groudon here is nice because... Ooh, Entei does get fully parried, finally. Ogerpon goes for the Ivy Cudgel into the Groudon. That does a good amount of damage. And the Drain Punch follow-up. Doesn't knock out, but does do a lot, all things considered.
Alright, this is bringing him back in the game here, because now...
Yeah, we're kind of back into things a little bit. And I mean, at this point, the Iron Hands is still very bulky, and it's going to be hard for a lot of this stuff to deal with Iron Hands. I mean, we were talking about it a little bit as, like, it doesn't do a whole lot into this team, but it does sit there, and it sits there on Groudon pretty comfortably. Or, excuse me, it sits there on some of these Pokemon pretty comfortably, and if Groudon isn't able to deal with it, then it can be kind of scary. And Entei does go for the Extreme Speed into that Protect with a Spiky Shield, which will do a bit of damage back. Not enough to knock out, still good damage. Groudon with the high horsepower into the Iron Hands.
Yeah.
It's good damage. Not enough to KO. Entei will drop now, but, I mean, that's probably what you needed if you were Nicholas, just to get Iron Hands to that range.
Yeah, because obviously...
Because now you can do something like an Ice Spinner, or...
Precipice wasn't going to KO either, so high horsepower is about to play. And now, like, you can just kind of Sucker Punch into whatever slot, and then just click high horsepower.
Yeah.
Although, no, you can't, because then high horsepower would be redirected into the Ogerpon. Sucker Punch would fail because it goes before, and then you kill the Groudon. So he actually has to be careful here. I think he just has to...
Although the Chen Pao is still the fastest Pokemon on the field.
So,
like, I think it's Chen Pao, Ogerpon, Groudon, Iron Hands, which should be fine, because you can just go for, like, an Ice Spinner and a high horsepower, and you're fine.
No, but he went for Sucker.
But that's a Sucker Punch, and that could be a little bit awkward. High horsepower lands onto the Ogerpon. I mean, on the good end of things for Nicholas, Chen Pao won't drop. Yeah. We'll give a pretty nice amount of HP back to the Iron Hands, but Chen Pao won't drop. The problem is that Calyrex can come in here and click that Astral Barrage.
Yeah, and it's Terra Fairy. It might... I mean, we'll see if it lives anyway. Like, if it doesn't live, Ice Spinner doesn't...
Yeah.
It's gonna die either way, but... and the thing is, now... Well, Sword of Rune on the field, Iron Hands does not live another high horsepower, so...
Yeah.
He, you know, I think it's pretty safe to just attack with the Chen Pao and then just Groudon into what's in here. But we'll see. Okay.
Groudon will Protect. I like that play. Just try to get through this turn. We're going to see the Sucker Punch. How much does that do? Not anywhere near enough. The Astral Barrage is going to pick up the knockout on the Chen Pao.
Makes sense. I kind of blank on the fact that Chen Pao's slower.
Yeah.
It was just Tailwind. We had Tailwind in Game 1, so...
Yeah, and it's always hard to forget. It's always easy to forget that Calyrex is, like, comically fast, even compared to, like, very fast Pokemon.
Yeah, and we'll see. I think if this is Thunderclap, Raging Bolt, then, yeah, I don't think it's going to... I don't think it's going to matter. We saw how much Thunderclap did last game, so...
At the same time, I mean... Oscar can play some mind games here.
I think his best chance is probably just a dodge. I think he has a dodge move here.
Yeah, I think you do, because Thunderclap comes through and takes out Calyrex or Groudon Precipice Blades and knocks out both.
Yeah.
And both of those go before Iron Hands is able to do anything. So even if Calyrex protects or Nasty Plots here to dodge the Thunderclap, Groudon finishes this.
Yeah.
We got the Calyrex Protect. We get the Raging Bolt Thunderclap. I think he actually might have needed to, well, we'll see. And the high horsepower is going to land. It is going to knock out the Iron Hands. Didn't even go for the Precipice Blades. Didn't have to. I guess that did give a very, very slight opening there, I think, because... No, there was no opening.
Because just low kick is not going to do enough damage from the Raging Bolt.
Yeah, Thunderclap will pick it up.
Yeah, I think if you KO Groudon, though, like if you dodge that, KO Groudon, he didn't target the Groudon, though, but if you KO Groudon, then now it's a 2-on-1, and you've got hands against a now sunless Raging Bolt. And you can kind of just Drain Punch, and maybe you can just outbolt your way through. But that all is based on a miss. So, yeah.
Nicholas Stavrakis with the 2-0 victory, moving to 2-2 on the day. Will stay in it, has the chance at that top cut. Only 16 players at this point, so top cut, the cutoff is going to be a little bit lower, strictly speaking, in terms of the 2-2-3 or the 3-2-2-3 bar. I think it's going to be a lot closer to that bar that people are making top cut. So we'll see how that ends up. And we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back for round number 5, final round of Swiss. Don't go anywhere.